let us continue playing Motorsport Manager. We are 4 races now from the end of the Let's Play, and it looks as if we are... I don't know. We might be able to get this to go. Certainly White's been on form. White has been ridiculous over the last few races and is just marching up this order. Maybe by the end White will be the champion. I don't know. Balthazar has been our stalwart and our rock throughout most of the first half of the season, but just faded away, whereas White has just put in performance after performance after performance in the last 3. We'll see how it goes and how it continues, but this next one is going to be our best shot at future points. Acceleration we have, brakes, low speed corners, but we'll see. This also is a very high fuel burn circuit, a very high fuel wear circuit. 37 laps. If there's any rain, we have a shot. Gonna reject the interview, continue. So there is an upcoming vote, and that is for... You know what? You can have my support for 250. I mean, we kind of need the money anyway. So what are we working on? We're working on a new engine upgrade, which is fine. Car repair is complete, so let's go for some more performance upgrades. So needing low speed corners, acceleration and deceleration, so that's what we will focus on. And the front wings. Which is all good. Okay. And yeah, since that is pretty much there, we will go 29 and 1. Although, admittingly, we're now going to have the engine upgrades needed, so maybe not. Alright, new engine is built. It's already got 60% reliability, which is good. And now we can design a new part. So here, for example, we could make a great engine for next season. Shame we're not going to be here for next season. So, looking at things then, I guess we could try and make an epic set of brakes, which we would have in time for next season. I could even go for the risky plus 50. And what else would I take here? It's a shame I can't take 2 of these, because this would be the ideal one. That's not really worth it. That's situational, but likely to be good. We're going to just take a flat plus 50. So that is as high as I can make a set of brakes. Although I'm probably just going to go the red zone reduction and listen and hope I get a decent one there. We'll have 6 days before the race to try and get these parts up to maximum reliability, but let's just see if we can get a decent brake out of that. Meanwhile, let's get that engine upgraded. So apparently I can fairly evenly max these 2 out, so let's go with that. So yeah, they're in the 95 range. I probably don't need to do too much more with this. Give it another day and then we'll focus on... There we go. Now we'll focus on just that engine. At least a little more. So there we go. That means that we're going to get all of our parts that are actually relevant for next race as maxed as possible. Extra percent on the gearbox, I guess. Suspension, yeah, it's just not worth doing. We'll add that on just to make sure we're maxing everything we're going to use, I guess. It's a reasonable plan. Yeah, that'll do. They're all kind of there anyway. It's really just the engine that's it's slightly concerning, but hopefully that will get the bulk of this anyway. It's already up to 81, and it's not a high engine stress course at this point. So let's keep going. So yeah, the brakes are done. Unfortunately, we're not going to get them in time, so that's me misreading things. Got a deceleration plus... Okay, so we got a big improvement. Downside is they're not going to be done. And not much really I can do there. Good news is, though, we at least kept on with what we were actually doing, so it's fine. Go for a double improvement there, see if we can get the maximum benefit out of those. And we will design a new part. So we can go up to legendary brakes, but doesn't really give us any benefit. We can make a legendary gearbox again, doesn't give us much benefit. Other than, I suppose, we take 2 upgrades now. But the only cheap part really is this one, so it's not really worth it. Suspension then is looking like our best bet to continue on with stuff. So random legendary, plus 50, plus 40, plus 10 and 10. Looking like our best bet. Done 13 days after the race, but gives us a... I guess Rio de Janeiro is the only time we're going to use one, but I don't see a reason not to build it. So we're going to build it. Build it, hope for a decent part there. Also, it's pushing us up the order slightly, and if we do actually put on that that new brake, you know, maybe we get somewhere. We'll go for a full 30-0 focus this way, but we know it's not going to be done in time. So, brake heavy circuit, in the rain, 6 for above is our target position. And again, gonna go heavy on the super soft plan here, I think. Maybe go down to 4 and 2. There we go. Right. So you're obviously delighted with the entirety of the setup, which is fine. You can, however, have a new engine for this race. We'll get an upgrade to Barnaby White. That's all fine. Maybe I do swap this round, though. No, we'll stick with that as is. I know this is a bit riskier, but it's a marginally better part. Okay, we'll swap that round. You're still happy with it. It gives you one part that's better there. 2%. Still have the best rear wing in the grid. We no longer have the best gearbox. We're quite close to it though. And again, can't pick this component, and it's worse than what we got anyway. Continuing. So, will the rain help us out? Will we be in a position to take advantage? What can we possibly do here to keep the championship, both with Balcazar, with Dragon Race Team China, and I guess technically possibly with White? I don't know. Maybe we'll get White the champion before all of this happens. He would have to perform exceedingly well though. Okay. So the Supersoft plan it is. Let's have a look at where my Singapore thing is. So I got a 17.2, a 27.7, which has apparently gone beyond the downforce limit, so I'm going to check if I've got another one. If not, I'm going to have to make some adjustments, and I think I'm going to make some adjustments. Take it down to 17 and 27.5. Might be a different variant of the course, which would be annoying if it is. So we then got 21.2, 44 and 44 is what I've got tracked for this. And we'll see how Barnaby White has things. So, 17.2. Okay, so you're actually fine with that. Which is interesting. I think we'll keep it like that. Just see what happens with this. 44.44. Confirm, and let's take the practice. So, Mr. White, off you go, and we're going to go out on race trim. Balcazar. I guess I could do a quick setup run and then just do that. But I think no, actually we'll go race trim. I'll burn the time now. So Balcazar leads Barnaby White, who's on a bit of a charge this second half of the season. And what is probably one of our best chances for a race win in the last few races of the season. As the other drivers are now too reliable, and the rain is our best bet. The rain is actually already here, but I prefer to get softs down to level 1, if only because that would then allow us to... Although that's starting to plummet now. Maybe we're still okay. If it's going to stay wet all race, then I think we're just going to go switching to all wets in a moment. Let's keep them out and see if we can get that up to race 1. Yeah, we'd lose. We're not getting any benefit from these, so we need to pit. So bring in. No one getting any tyre benefit. It might ease off, but mostly it's race trim we want. So, and it gives us an excuse to go and change our setup. We might still get Super Soft 1 just so we can have something before we get to qualifying. Means we're going to go in first and second. Okay, Balcazar extremely happy with that. Let's go out on the wet tyres just to... Actually, we'll do a wet qualifying run. I realise this is going to burn time, but... Yeah, downforce is not in the right position, so let's shift that back. Yeah, we'll take it down to 20. I'll take it down to there, I guess. Maybe a little more. That might be a bit too much, and then we'll try and correct this to back where it was. So that's down to there. That to there. And again, quali stint on the wets. So not expecting much out of this. We just want to see if we can get qualifying 1. And then we'll probably go back onto the dries, which it kind of already is there. Oh dear, maybe... Actually, White can come straight back in. Balcazar can come straight back in. It's too dry. Send you back out on those softs. Still on the quali stint. Downforce only okay. So maybe that needs to go the other way then. We got to 27, 28, and then click that to there maybe. Go back to race trim, go to the same set of super softs. I've wasted about 30 seconds of the qualifying swapping White back and forth, but we need that race trim at the very least. I wouldn't mind the quali 1. Soft tyre 1 isn't a bad thing for us to have. Problem is, I don't think we're actually going to get that. Looks like we're the quali 1. Just looking at where Balcazar is on track. So, okay, we'll get quali 1 by her going round. Beyond that, it's just what else we can get. So, race 2 has now been picked up. Balcazar coming in. We will hopefully have enough time because it's quite a quick thing, and all we're going to be doing is swapping her onto race trim. Might get enough time to do this. Actually, yeah, 112 remaining. We're not going to have the time. However, what I can do is go for something like this. Switch to race trim. New set of super soft boots. See what we can do. Also, knowing White has warmed his tyres up quite considerably, so... Stuff still to do. White going to finish his lap, obviously, but I don't think we're going to get much out of this. Sharp goes fastest, Becker is second, Balcazar is third. Only level 2s. Yeah, I should have just stuck out there and tried to keep the race stint working. Triple excellent from Balcazar, so I think we maxed out the setup there. And now we'll see what happens on a dry qualifying. So super soft race trim. I'm gonna try this again because this seemed to work for some bizarre reason, even though I don't know why. Okay, 97. We got that excellent. These two are not. They're really on the limit, isn't it? Hold on. Try that. Continue simulate session. So we got multiple shots of this. We just need a reasonable position. If we're close enough, we can make this work for ourselves. 8 and 11. So yeah, going the super soft conservation rate not really paying off for us. See if we can do it any better on our second stint. Looking like it's White's 8 and 12th. Solidly middle of the pack, but we have light rain starting up. It's gonna get heavier. It's actually starting full. It's starting dry wet, isn't it? It's gonna be into wet for at least the first 4 laps. We might have a number of these. So I'm thinking that actually might not be such a bad idea, but we're going to go on the super soft plan here. Light-footed super softs, and I guess it's already raining. But that means we might be able to go just long on that stint, so that's how we'll do it. Okay, 97, 97, 97 is as good as we're going to get. That double excellent there is better than what we had, so we'll do with that. Inters to start the race on. I assume everybody's on Inters. And yeah, the question is how hard can we push these Inters, really? Balcazar, I think, is going to go on the limit to start with, and we're going to have Barnaby take up a more casual position here. So, when is the crossover point? I mean, actually, these tyres aren't switched on yet, so this could be fun. Okay, Balcazar into 8th place, reasonable start. White making another great start there, already up into 9th. Inside goes Balcazar around Piaget, hopefully trying to pick up 6th. Do we get it? I think we do, but we're not going to get it from Piaget. We're going to get it from Rodriguez, who has fallen down. And there we go. Okay, Balcazar is through. White is also through. Great start, and in fact we can go overtake on the view for you as well, just to try and secure it. Balcazar is of course a Rainmaster, so she has benefits going on. The tyres are going to be slightly more switched on the more she goes, so I think we need to push while we can here. Go aggressive. White drops down to 8th. We're now pushing at the back of Lipponen. And we just get stormed at that point there. And I think this is now where we're going to have to start conserving, because we're now cushioning our tyres too much. So high neutral for both drivers. Balcazar needs to get past Lipponen though. Our race is kind of critical on this. White locked up. That's not good. That means Surikov behind us. Piaget rather behind us. It's in a problem position. Alright, come on. Balcazar, you can get past this guy. This guy is in a car that is technically faster than us, but we can't afford to lose time here. The weather is going to die off soon as well, so... Okay. Let's press the overtake button then. It's not the easiest of circuits to... Oh, what's the hell has happened here? Is that a lapped car? I think that was a lapped car, and that's allowed us to get into 6th. Lipponen's up into 5th. So, okay, we'll take that. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's been going on with that. Rain is getting heavier. Let's start easing off a little bit, I think, here. Yeah, ease off with both drivers. We've got to make sure we hit the right window, because obviously if our tyres burn out too quickly, then we're not going to last until lap 10, potentially, when it goes to slick running. And being on the right strategy here is absolute key. I'm amazed Sharp's kept his tyres that well. Still, we need the tyres to be cooling off. Balcazar then defending 6th, 11 seconds off the pace currently. All the drivers ahead, with the exception of Becker, have better tyre grip. How long is it going to be wet weather for? Is it going to be wet weather for long enough? Because I think this is going to be a 2-lap swap at best. I don't want to gamble this, but I think White may want to consider it. How much faster are we going to go? We know it's about 10 seconds, and I don't think the crossover is going to be enough. If we were already on wets, then sure, but I don't think it's worth it right now. I think plan is to make this work. So Balcazar still holding off. 58, 54 are the current percentages. Balcazar 13 seconds off the pace right now. Lipponen is still pulling away from us, which is depressing. There's the track soaked, so that's 1 lap. I think we've had 2. I think we'd have had 2 laps if we'd have done this. Yeah, I think we made a mistake there, and White could have had 2 laps on wet tyres and caught back up to his position. He would have had to overtake a lot of drivers, though. So he's doing right back in the pack. So now we're getting back to interwet again. And now it is a case of tyre wear. And also, we're going to go back onto high fuel here, just because I need to try and keep that 6th place. And close the gap to Lipponen if I can. Yeah, we're the only one going conserve at the moment, but everybody else is now starting to push. It's going to be dries in about 3 laps. But we do have to make it that long. And we are going to stay out. This is now kind of critical for our race. If we can stay out on these tyres with both drivers, then we're in the business. And unfortunately, White is going to have problems in the other direction here. Balcazar, thankfully, warmed the tyres up enough that she's actually okay at the moment. But there's lap 11. Track drying off, but it's not there yet. Who is going to be first to blink? And the first to blink is Clark Smith. Now, Clark Smith's not a pacey driver, so he's not really representative of true pace here. And it's still in the inter window. If we just, for comparative purposes, look at things. Yeah, that window is right the way down to there, isn't it? I mean, the crossover point, it basically has to no left for dries to make sense. But other drivers are coming in because they just can't make the tyres work. And this is where our 2 drivers have done a phenomenal job. And suddenly now, they're in the pits, we're not. And are they going to come back out on the right tyres? They are not. So we could do with getting past here. Lap 13. That crossover point is just about happening now. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough for us to absolutely make an advantage here, is it? Alright, push overtake, push overtake. Pit for the super soft rubber. We're going to go quick here, I think, is the plan. Because we also don't know if there's going to be another rain session yet. But I don't think we got time. It's gonna... I don't know. Becca is falling away, but is Becca falling away fast enough? How long have I got? I've got no time. Got to the end of that straight to make a decision. Interestingly, they didn't pit. The tyres are ruined. They didn't pit. We're going to pit. And I'm going to put on a new set of Super Softs. Okay. I didn't low fuel through the pits. That's really bad of me. We, however, are now out of the pits and preparing to attack. So, hi. Balcazar is in third. Sharp is the only driver not to have pitted, and we're on faster tyres than Becca. Meanwhile, White has merged in the same position he started in. In sixth, we're going to do the hard push on both drivers for the moment. Because I think Balcazar needs to get in there. Balcazar wants inters. It's still inter damp out there, but I think we're okay. And the leader has come out and has comfortably kept the lead. Has lost a bit of time, though. And Balcazar needs to overtake, because otherwise we're in trouble. So, overtake, please, Balcazar. I think now we're at the medium time, and I think now you're a medium here as well, so I don't think you can actually hold this. Blocked off, and we're on conserve now. That's probably going to end up badly for us here, because if we can't get past him, then we're behind him on strategy. Our only chance now is if the rain comes back. Mind you, we are a long way ahead, but that tyre wear is going to go through the roof right now, isn't it? Yeah, we're already in the need to conserve. In fact, in Balcazar's case, back up. Which is depressing. We might be able to make something work a little bit. Actually, his mediums are burning quite nicely. Just looking at the comparative charts here, he's burning up his mediums at the moment. He's conserving fuel as well. We're not too bothered about that particularly, but alright, let's go up to conserve on both here. Get a little bit more pace in. See if we can keep Balcazar at a reasonable level. 2.6. Yeah, 2.6 and closing is fine. Lap 20. We know these will do 10 laps. I think, though, that's going to be optimistic at this stage. And White has now picked up to the point he can start pushing with fuel again. In fact, White's kind of there anyway, so let's go high. Keep the pressure up. I don't see any rain in the near future, and that's potentially a problem. Because we're going to fall behind Lipponen again. But we're not going to fall much further back than that if we look at the top 6. .4. So yeah, our tyres are now going away, so I guess medium up for a moment. And there's the traffic. So we might be able to make something here happen here, I guess. Or at least it might mitigate our losses a little bit. If we do the pit, we could go softs for 14 laps. Which is about right, but we'll give that another lap or two. White can probably make those super softs last again, so he'll be on the fastest tyre twice. He'll be going on a new set, and that will make him comparatively faster at this stage of the race. So here we go. Now if Balcazar pits, 14 laps to go. She can go one more. So let's go overtake, neutral, pit at the end of this lap. We're putting on a set of softs. Meanwhile, I guess we go high fuel on white and just push for a little bit. But we have our goal, we have our tactics in mind. Unfortunately, I don't see these as being winning tactics. Unless it starts raining again, in which case we're actually going to fall behind. So Balcazar into pits, let's go low fuel. Medium, medium, and he's going to go out behind white, which is perfectly fine by us. She should be faster than us right now. So here we go. This is now our race. Can Balcazar make this work? White has got a reasonable job ahead of him. He's got to last 2 more laps, I guess, but for now, fresh tyres, 32.2, matching pace with the leader. Not losing anything, which is fine. His mediums are half worn. In fact, they might have to pit soon. And on that basis, we're going to go high neutral for the moment. And try to make this work. Meanwhile, I believe this is going to be your in lap, so let's go overtake, push, pit for a set of super softs. Repair the front wing. Costs you a second, but you are 6th and 7th is miles behind. And I guess it's another thing that can go wrong, but it actually didn't. So here we go then. So Balcazar purple in that last sector. And he's now going to be storming up behind Lipponen. We have much fresher tyres this time. Another fastest of anybody last sector. But if we fail to get past Lipponen in a good amount of time, we're just losing. Becker is pitted. Becker is still in the pits, actually, so Becker has had a problem. He's on softs. It'll be interesting to see whether White can chase him down. Meanwhile, I think at this stage we're going to press the overtake button. Well, much fresher tyres. We need to make this work. Big 8 on new softs as well. He's going to pit now. Okay. Well, let's not go too hard on this then. We need to actually conserve our tyres again. So let's go conserve neutral and we'll just let him pit. Into the pits also came Surikov. He's going to be on fresher tyres, but chasing. In fact, he's on mediums as well. Sharp is... Oh, okay. I've just noticed Becker has damage. So... he's setting fastest laps to chase us down. And he has more grip, but we are currently holding the high ground here. Sharp has come out on new super softs, and that is depressing. Okay, let's go high fuel here. Also, I think we can have overtake for a couple of laps on you. We know it's a tough circuit to overtake on this one, so we're just going to try and squeeze the gap a little more. We can make that up. We can also go onto neutral attacking if we need to. But we want this second place here. This second is so vital for us. So neutral on the tyres. Barnaby White personal best lap. Sharp new fastest lap, but that's fine. We were on the best tyres at the lead of the race, so we're expecting that. What's going to be critical is how can Balcazar hold this one off. Alright, now we're going to have to start conserving. This is the risky bit in here. This is probably the hardest point of the circuit for him to actually get past us, but if he does... Oh, this could be bad now. This is now 3-car pile-up. I'm just trying to conserve enough fuel that I can actually... Becker mechanical issue. Oh, Becker's out. Becker is out. Okay, so that promotes Surikov, who has mediums, but much more grip. And Becker was also one of our championship contenders here, so Balcazar could be earning for a lot of points. Also, whoops, but that's fine. You can still hold this off. You go conserve on those super softs, make sure you get round. Also, that's not Surikov immediately behind us. We've got a 3-second gap to Surikov, who is closing us, but 2 laps to go. 3.3, 3.2, 3.2, 3.1. Okay, we can go pushing if we need to. That's Becker on repaired and new tyres as unlapping himself. And that's Surikov behind us, and we have Vuel. So, Balcazar, off you go. Neutral overtake. Let's make sure we keep this guy behind us. 1.7, 1.8. I'm just watching the fuel timer here. There's so many lapped cars around. Just get in his way. Don't get in our way necessarily, but get in his way. Go to high. Ease this down. I'm not even looking at the gap. Balcazar is going to pick up a 2nd place. White is going to pick up a 5th place. That is a lot of team points. We outscored the Red Bulls. We outscored the non-scoring Steinman team. The Ferraris, we outscored them too, I think, as well, because we've got 8th for 2nd, 4th for 5th. We outscored all the teams on this race. Well, we needed a performance, and we got one. Whew. Only thing to make this sweeter, if the Ferraris cheated. No, they didn't. Valdez did. Got a drive-through penalty as well. Though I don't know for what. Balcazar, though, back on the podium. The gap increases. It's Surikov, who is still the rival, but we increased our gap to him. Barnaby White lost a little bit of ground, obviously. And the team now has a 15-point gap to Panther, a 19-point gap to the Ferraris, and a 27-point gap to Steinman, who now we need to win everything. 3 to go. 3 to go. We've been riding our luck here, and I was genuinely not expecting to be championship winners for this season. I genuinely was not. I mean, even when we won our first few races, I knew at some stage we'd just get overhauled. We've not had the pace most of the time. We've not had the ability to fight back. And we're getting lucky with our main 3 rivals tripping over themselves and not being consistent more than anything else. But that's a 15-point gap. The most the team can score is 18 points in a race, so they can still overhaul that in one go if they need to. But then, how many points are we going to score? If we assume we can score, say, conservative 15 points, that means Panther has to score 30 points to win. In terms of driver standings, it's a little less clear-cut because obviously that's only a 6-point gap. And Sharp, who has been ridiculously good in the last few races, is likely to overhaul us in the next 2 races unless he has a bad one. If he has a bad one next race, maybe. Maybe we can win Balcazar as well. But we shall see. Sydney is next. Until next time.